Unleash the power of purpose with impactful business voices, hosted by Baki and Anita Larsen. Each week, you'll be inspired by stories from companies that are making a real difference in the world, and you'll learn practical tips on how to grow your business with an impact.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Impactful Business Voices podcast, where we talk to business owners to make an impact on the world, impact in their communities, or in the lives of their clients and the people they serve. We're here to find out what drives them and hope that it inspires you to make an impact in your own business as well. So we are your hosts. I'm Anita Larsen.
And I'm Baki. And today we have a special treat. We are joined by Malcolm Reed Sr. He is founder and CEO of Pro Global Business Advisors, and he's the creator of the Profit Coach system. Now, Malcolm, he's a huge influencer in the world of business coaching. He is our mentor. He's our partner for a little bit over 4 years. He's our friend. And he's really honestly made an immense impact in both of our lives and our entire coaching community. So it is such an honor to have him spend this time with us. Malcolm, welcome to the show.
Wow, what an introduction.
It's only the truth, my friend.
Yeah.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Such a pleasure.
So we've been really excited about this episode, first of all, because, we just love having the chance to sit down and like pick your brain and talk to you and share your knowledge and experience with everyone else. Because, like Nancy said, you made such an impact in our lives. Maybe we can start with what got you started. What is Pro Global, first of all? How do you help people? What kind of impact do you make? Can we start with that, just to give an overview?
Well, the question, how did I get started? I'll start there.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the slums of Baltimore, growing up with nothing, not realizing that there were opportunities outside of the ghetto. Only seeing when you see murder and death and negativity all around you, it limits your viewpoint on what's possible, right? And then considering that having the privilege to escape that environment and realize that you do matter and you can make an impact, that's where it all began. And then when you fast forward to now, when people talk about business coaching and things like that, what you're really doing is you're supporting people, because there's people who run the business. And there's people who are hiding behind a mask because of judgment, right? So what Pro Global is all about is empowering people to help them realize no matter where they came from, what their current situation or circumstances are, you too matter. You matter, and you can make an impact. And those dreams that you have, they are possible. And so Pro Global is all about helping making those things a reality.
You're celebrating 10 years today, Malcolm. It's big.
Today or this year?
This year. It's
awesome.
It's huge. Oh yeah, listen, I didn't even realize how the time passed so fast. But 10 years of we've been with you for just a little over 4. I can just imagine what the 10 years. I know there was a lot of learning, a lot of growing, and look where you are today. I mean, for me, I look at you as you've literally changed my entire life. Not just my business life. You're the first person, Malcolm, that just told me the way it is, the truth. Yeah, I didn't like everything that you told me in the beginning. Like, to be honest, I was not happy about it. But today I'm happy because you got me out of my own way. And we all have that as humans. And we represent that belief together as a community every day. And that's what makes my heart beat every day. Other than, God, family, and business, it's the reason. It's such a drive.
Well, it's difficult for me to accept when people compliment me that way, because, I'm learning, right, to accept blessings from others. It's not about me. And the thing is, I as a coach, as a mentor, as a father, right, as a husband, we don't tell anybody anything. Just ask questions. When you're present and you really care, think about someone that's your best friend or someone that really cares about you. They don't allow anything. They ask you tough questions. And what happens, we already have the information. It just takes someone that cares enough that's willing enough to go there when most people won't go there. They shy away from what's perceived as confrontational friction, yet that's where growth lies, right? Growth lies in facing and going through the challenge versus avoiding it. And that's all I've done for you. I do for Anita, our entire community. And quite frankly, it's the only reason why I'm here. I'll do anything to support, those who are out there that are making an impact, that care about other people. It takes a collective, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
I will say that when I first met you and Matt and, became a part of Pro Global, and, for those who don't know, Pro Global is the coaching network that Nancy and I are a part of and that Malcolm founded. And it's amazing. It's just an amazing group of people. And the thing that won me over in my initial conversation with you guys was your mission and the type of people that you want to work with as coaches, because you're very specific about who should be a Pro Global coach. Can you share that with everyone? Because I think it's very important.
Well, it is. And I'm glad you brought that up, because one thing that really, really fires me up is I'm so fed up with people slapping business coach or consultant on their business card or on their website. And they're not qualified to support anyone. Yeah. So there's four main things that are critical before I would ever engage with you. Number one, you have to be someone that has morals. You have to have values. You have to be highly ethical. And number four, authentic. When you have a person, so you can't teach a person to be a good human being. You can teach skill, however. And so it's a combination, really our secret sauce. It's a combination of the right people. And then you insert them into a proven, predictable, repeatable process, right? Which is what all small businesses need, right? You need a way to generate customers without being yucky and salesy, right? So you need to have a marketing program that lets the world know you exist. Number two, you have to have a way that once they know you exist, to convert them into a customer. Because if they don't become your customer, there's nothing that's going to change. And then the third thing is, once they become your paying customer, you must deliver. It's the only reason why they hire you, is to drive results. So when you take that right person, Anita, to your point, and you insert them into a proven, duplicatable, repeatable system, that family or that business owner on the other end, that person, they can feel it. They know that you're not just trying to take their money, that you genuinely care about the success for them and for their family. And that's the type of people, the only type of people that we'll work with. And as you both know, we support hundreds of coaches all over the world, right? Yeah. If they're not that type of person, if they sneak through our vetting process, we kick them out. Actually, the community will get rid of them because they stick out like a sore thumb. So if you're driven by money, this isn't a community for you. If you're driven by making a real impact and not just talking, and you're willing to put the work in to help those people, then that's the type of people that we attract and that we will support.
I love that, because it's fun to walk every day when we're training these coaches and these CFOs and accountants and all these people that actually also have a passion to help businesses. It's really it's such a peace to just hang out with the same type of people that have that same mindset, that same heart, that same purpose and value. Yeah. Malcolm, there's something that we use a lot in our community. You call it the love formula. I absolutely adore it. I think everybody needs to know what the love formula is, whether it's in our personal life, in our business. Can I let you speak about that a little bit more?
We all need love, don't we? If we just spread a little more love, each person, I believe the world would be a better place. And, when I speak of love, the L is for listen. Too many people aren't listening. Mm-hmm. What they're doing is they're waiting to respond, but truly listening, because your best listener is your best friend. Your best friend is your best listener. And so the first step is listen more, really listen, which opens up the O, where we have to open dialogue. Today, if you're on two different sides of whatever that aisle is, it's friction and it's anger. Opening dialogue is where we really have the opportunity. So listen and then open dialogue. Here's how you open dialogue: by asking questions. And you're asking questions to verify that what that person said is what they meant, not the interpretation that goes through our filter, right? Because we all interpret things differently. Before E, we start educating or talking on a subject or on a matter. We have to make sure we understand what that person really means before we can add any insight, if we have anything to say at all. So by using love, showing more love, what does it do? It avoids misunderstandings. I really believe you shouldn't leave anything open to interpretation, right? And what that means is if two people can see it differently, it's left open to interpretation. So by showing more love with our spouses, our partners, our children, our workmates, right? Our business associates, it allows for more understanding. And when you have more understanding, then you can be able to support a person to another level, or even have a constructive dialogue. Show more love.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's
It's one of the best formula. It sounds so easy, and it actually is easy when you understand it.
Mhm.
When you truly take the time to do it with every human being, again, like you said, Malcolm, whether it's your child, your spouse, or a person, a business owner, it literally brings tears to the other person, because they're not really, they don't feel that in the, I call it, in the normal world, you know. We even have to kind of teach them how to unlearn what they've learned in the past, so that they can literally see what is the real purpose of where they're at today, and every person that they speak to, right?
Yeah.
Can we to what you said in the beginning, Malcolm, that all the people that just kind of slap the coach or consultant onto their resume, it's like, I'm going to do this now. I think there is a lot of stigma right now around coaching and consulting.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult for business owners to find the right people. And I know that both Nancy and I see that with clients all the time, that they've been burnt by people in the past. They've been taught the wrong things. They've been taken advantage of. And we talked about that in our last podcast episode to some extent. But what should they be looking for in a coach? What criteria should they be looking for? What type of person should they be looking for? How do they find the right coach?
I'll tell you the wrong way is by social media. Let me mean by that. See, we live in a society now where the more followers you have, the more legitimate you supposedly are. And that can be manipulated.
Yeah.
And so that's not the way that you determine if this is my coach or my mentor, by the way that Facebook or Instascam, you mean Facebook, Instagram, and these other places, the way people can be what they want to be. Social media allows you to think about it. A person will take 15 photos, right, and then put a filter on it before they get the right one. And they'll make things look like they're more appealing than what they are. But when you peel that back, what do you really have? So don't just use social media, the number of people that viewed something, the amount of people that are following you as the barometer. So that's what not to look at. But here's what you can do. When you meet a person, they go, can't you tell if they're the type of person that you want to like? Attracts a like. And so when you have a conversation with someone, you can just tell. You use your senses that God gave us, right? I call it your spidey senses. Certain things start flaring off as red flags. You better listen. Right? And other things just feel good. Now, what I mean by feel good, not just because it feels good, but you just know when you're around a like-minded type of person. And so I think the first step is you must have a conversation.
Yeah.
A person cannot help support you to your next if they don't know anything about you. So are they asking questions about you? What drives you? What are the challenges that you have? Your family? What's really important? But not some canned script that every single person is asking just to take you down this neuro-linguistic, whatever it's called, NLP process that will convert you. Are they having a real conversation with you? The second thing is this program or whatever they offer, because we've all been burnt, all of us, and we're sick of it. Is this something that's allowing you to, is it structured to be flexible enough to help you with where you're going in your life? Because I really believe, Nancy and Anita, it first starts with, what life are you going for? The business is just a tool. It's an asset that's helping you to get the life that you're going for. So if they're not connected with your true outcomes that you're looking for with your life, how can they support you? So when you're talking to that potential coach or mentor, is this conversation centered around just the business, some strategies? I call that a transactional relationship. Is it just focused around that? We're going to do this strategy, or is it really dialed into what's important to you? The real challenges you're facing. Now think about it. If you're having, again, we're not talking it's a difference in having someone that's like your therapist and having your coach. There's kind of overlaps in some ways because, if you're having challenges at home, if your mindset's off, how can you take on a strategy today? Do they even care? Right. So I just believe that your due diligence isn't just about, again, how many followers they have, the fact that they're asking some questions that, typical people are canned questions. Do they really care about where you are, where you're headed, what's holding you back from that, and also have an understanding of it? How do they understand? Well, they ask you, hey, let me tell you what, this goes back to love, right? Hey, they're listening. They're asking questions, but they're verifying. They're saying, hey, Anita, here's what I heard you say. What I heard you say is this, this, and this. Is that correct? Yes. So how's that been impacting you? How long have you been dealing with this? What's been stopping you from achieving X, Y, and Z? But then look, when they notice that you're getting in the way, are they willing to challenge you, help you get uncomfortable, or do they want this to sail? And can't you tell? I mean, so part of this is really using what you have, your God-given instincts, to really determine if this person is there with you. Look, they're beside you on the journey, or are you just another number?
Yeah, and I think,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I also think, it goes both ways, I think, too. Like with Nancy and I, we have to feel that same rapport for us to work with somebody, because it's a very close relationship between coach and client. And I think it is really important that they feel that rapport with you and trust you enough and comfortable enough with you that they can open up and be vulnerable and really share what's going on in their business.
Yeah. Who else understands you? Like a lot of times your friends and associates are looking up to you with the perception that, oh, everything is great.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you have employees or whatever, you can't tell them how you really feel.
Right.
That coach has to be someone that you trust, just like an attorney, right? You trust them. You tell them things you wouldn't tell anybody else. And that's established before they pay you.
Yeah.
So that's very important because, again, how can you run a business? It's not like you have two separate brains. You're one person. You're a human being and a business owner. So as a human being, are you willing to show up and share the vulnerable, real truth with this person? Or do you hold back because of fear? Like, if I tell them this, are they going to judge me? Those things matter. So again, there's no cookie cutter way to really determine who the best coach is. You just kind of know it through that conversation. And so I would say, go with them instincts, not just the amount of likes and how popular someone may be.
Yeah. I'm really happy you brought that, because there's a lot of businesses that have no idea what a business coach is. They've actually, they've been spending and wasting their money on business coaches, not all, on some. We've heard horror stories that, I have one a few years ago. He paid him $3,000 a month just for a business card. So there's a lot of businesses, they have no idea what real, true, valuable business coaching is. So I'm really glad. But there's also the other end. It's also the business coach themselves, right? Yeah. There's so many out there, and I speak to many of them every day. We speak to many of them every day where, I call myself in a place where it's to help that business owner really see what is your real true purpose. What do you truly want to do and help that business with? Not just with your experience and your wisdom, but where your heart is. You could learn what works out there. It's just, where's your real heart? I know there's so many stories that we can probably share, but maybe one that you might think of a transformation of a business coach that came in and joined our community with Pro Global, and where he or she, because I've got so many stories, so many in my head, but maybe you could think of one where they were in one place and by joining this community, they turned around, and let's call it 360 degrees 5 times, because I think I know a few of them that way. Can you share one that you can think of off the top of your head?
There's so many. And before I go there, before we change subject, there's also an important piece of this business coach and business owner relationship. A lot of times the results also aren't driven. It's not just that the coach isn't showing up a certain way, because you do have a lot of people that have skills. They may not know how to run their coaching business appropriately and have all the tools, but they are people. Well, there's accountability. Accountability goes both ways. I want to make sure I establish that, because too many business owners blame the coach and they don't do the work themselves.
Yeah.
And so they blame the program. And so accountability means that not only does the coach show up with support, the business owner also has to do something. If you don't take the action, there's no change. All right. So I want to make sure that I establish accountability goes both ways. And so to answer the question about the business coaches in our community that have success, those success stories are many. You know, we have over 70% retention rate, because if you want more information, go to Google. It's a whole lot of information there. If you truly want to have transformation in your business and in your life, that's what we have as an implementation program. We don't support you around what if. Everyone goes down that what if journey. Well, what if this? What if that? Well, you have to take the action. We coach you around and support you around what is. And so the coaches that have the most success are the ones that's actually getting past their fears, and they're implementing the things that we support you around. So no implementation, no progress. And there's tons of people. I can think of one business coach who, before we came into the community, he was the most skeptical person I've ever met in my entire life. But that's good, because if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. And we met probably 3 or 4 different times. And every time he had more questions and more questions and more questions, which was great. Now, the questions I have was he was projecting his failures onto me. And I just gave them back to him through questions to help him own the things that he was projecting onto us because of what previous people did. Long story short, he just said, wow, this seems too good to be true. And so it probably is. And that's the stereotype that's thrown out there. Oh, it's too good to be true. In fact, it's the biggest objection we ever get. It's too good to be true. What is true? What we do is real. And so it's 3.5 years later. And he mentioned, I think about 6 months ago it was 3 months ago, that 2023 was the best year he's ever had in his business and his life. Why? It's because he took the action. Now, has it always been smooth? No, this is hard work. You don't build a successful business by things just go smoothly. That's a false picture. This is life. It's up and down, right? It's when you stick to it. And not only is he having success in his own business, but he's earned the right. Notice, earned the right by proving that he can grow a small business, starting with himself, because you can't do for others what you can't do for yourself, right?
Right.
And now he's earned the right to be one of our diamond partners, where he also has the privilege of being able to not only support small businesses, but he's earned the right to support small business coaches to helping other small business owners as well. Let's think of one. But there's so many. I mean, there's plenty of people that have come into our community, and they all feel the same way in the beginning: skeptical, jaded, right? Don't believe, just looking for something to go wrong. And then we just help put on the blinders, take the action, get uncomfortable, and then and only then will you reap the benefits, because it's hard. It is hard work. Yet the reward is immense. You know, the transformation that happens for them and their families, Nancy and Anita, that's big. Also, those families who are out there that have been let down too, right? It's big for them to start seeing that it's real. Because look, what got you here won't get you here. So that limited view here, there's a different view when you move here. And so when you go past that comfort zone, your brain's going to do its job. It's going to shut you down, because it's there to protect us, right? It looks for patterns of familiarity. And then when you start doing things outside of what's comfortable or familiar, your brain just comes in and says, no, 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 no. You can't do that. How are you going to accomplish that? It's those people that have the courage to utilize the support around them and go past their comfort zone, put it that way. Those are the ones that's going to make it.
And it's fun that they don't go, they're not alone. As long as, you know, there's one thing that you've said this to me from the first day that I met you, Malcolm. You said, Nancy, if you give me 99%, I'm giving you nothing.
Yeah.
But if you give me 100%, I'm going to give it all to you. What I loved about that, it's, you know, that thing between our ears that we always have, that we keep in our way. And actually, the world even pushes it, right? When it's family, friends, or you can't do it, whatever it is, right? And that's the one thing that I took out of this. I mean, one out of many things. Yeah, and actually, any person that I work with, what is a business coach, a partner, anyone really, it has to be that relationship. And also the directness, Malcolm. The directness is something that's so important.
Yeah.
Again, both with businesses and business coaches, sometimes they have a fear or they walk and they step back. And they're like, no, I'm not ready to face this. Can you think of a lesson that was, call it an unexpected lesson, that you've learned as a mentor, as a business coach, as a business owner of many businesses, as a partner? What is the most unexpected lesson that we could learn from you as well?
I'm not sure that it's something you can learn from me. I can only share what I've experienced. And the biggest lesson for me, use your voice. Don't take your talents to the grave. You know, I learned that lesson by losing my son. My son was an entrepreneur. I'm introverted, extremely introverted. He's extroverted. Well, he was. And this young man would tell anybody, anywhere, any place about what he did. And yet I, out of fear of judgment, or I felt that people wouldn't see value, am I worthy, I wouldn't tell anybody. I know that if he had an hour left, that he would spend that hour making sure the whole world knew what he did. And 3.5 years ago, as you all know, he was walking down the road, and a distracted driver ran him over, killed him, right? The lesson for me is that I was being selfish by not sharing with others out of fear, right? A judgment, not sharing with others the amazing gift that I've been blessed with. And from that day on, I give fear 2 seconds. Literally, I have a 2-second rule. I'm afraid, I count to 2. 1, 2, and I'm in it. Because what I've learned is the fear goes away once you get into action. And so what it forced me to do is I said, you know what? I'm not comfortable meeting new people. I'm not comfortable talking about myself. But you notice the word I made it about me. And so my mentor asked me this question. He challenged me with this question. He said, Malcolm, are you 100% certain that if someone else were to apply the things that you have to offer, that their life would be better off than what it was before they met you? And I had to think about that. I said, yes. And they asked me again, Malcolm, are you 100% certain that if someone was to apply the things that you know, that life would be better off than before they met you? I said, yes, it would. And they asked me a third time. I'm like, why are you asking me this? Yes. And here was my mentor's response. When you know with 100% certainty, Malcolm, that what you offer will have and if someone applied it, their life would be better off than what they met you, and you don't do everything in your power to make sure they get it, well, Malcolm, I have to question your ethics. And that changed the game for me, because that's what my son was doing. He knew that what he could offer would better the lives of other people. And here I am being selfish and not making sure that other people get it. He doesn't have the opportunity, but I do. Nancy, you have the opportunity. Anita, you have the opportunity. The listeners in the audience, you have the opportunity. Stop being selfish, because it's not about you. There's a bunch of people out there waiting for your special gift. Speak up. Take 2 seconds. Be afraid for 2 seconds and then get into action and watch how things change, because you can't be afraid when you're doing. Doing is the solution for thinking, which is where fear comes from. That's the biggest lesson that I've learned.
Thank you, Malcolm.
Very powerful. I think that's the note to end on. Use your voice and don't be selfish with your talents. So thank you so much, Malcolm, for being here. This has been very impactful, and I'm sure everyone feels the same listening to just the passion you have for what you do. And Nancy and I have been lucky enough to work closely with you for many years now. And, we're excited to be able to share that passion that you have with our audience as well.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you invited me. And I'm going to end with this. Go where you're celebrated. Dr. Sherwood said this. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. And what I mean is that where people are showing up for you, and when you give your time and people show up and show that they appreciate it, you keep showing up there. But when they don't show up and appreciate it, don't give your time. Use your voice where it's celebrated. So thank you so much again for allowing me, to be a part of this.
Malky, thank you for being part of our lives as well, of our everyday. And I have tears of joy every time I'm just being very transparent. You know me, Malcolm.
Yes.
Really, tears of joy, not for just myself, but for everybody that we work with every day. It's the most beautiful and glorious thing that I have ever done in my life in the last 4.5 years with you. So I thank you, and I thank God for having me get introduced to you. That first 15 minutes was a change. So thank you, and thank you for being part of what we do every day to change businesses and business owners every day.
Thank you for introducing us. Like, we wouldn't have met Nancy if it wasn't for Malcolm. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And all the other relationships we built over the years. Yeah.
This was fun. This is fun.
The honor is ours, Malcolm. Really.
So we'll put you backstage for just a second and just kind of wrap it up, and then we'll come back and chat with you. So thank you again. Oh, there we go. Celebrating.
I loved it. Wow, Anita. That is
impactful.
Yeah, I mean, I know when I had my first call with Malcolm many years ago, he was the first one in my entire life that literally said it the way that I needed to hear it. And he knows that, sometimes when we're working with coaches and businesses and we have questions, because, we're not alone. There are sometimes he'll say, well, why don't we look at this? And I'm like, really? And I'll have to change my way of thinking and understanding. Yeah. But really, at the end, we have to keep our minds open, because it's, like you said, it's never about us. Never. Right? It's about who we're growing a relationship with. Who are we connecting with? Who can we support? As long as they are ready to do what they want to do in their life and make a change in their world, and with their purpose.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah, and that's what I really appreciate by, with the whole coaching network that we're a part of, and the community as well, is, the focus on the integrity and the value and the authenticity, and just, sharing what you know, loving what you do, and having a passion for helping other people. That's simple.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I really do pray that you guys have learned what real business coaching is, because there's a lot of business coaching that's out there, but really what the real business coaching is really about. Remember, it's not about the business. It's about that human being that you're helping. And as well, on the other side, for business coaches, please, guys, I mean, we say this from our heart. If you really have no idea how to business coach, please don't ask a client to spend thousands of dollars when you have no idea what they're going to really get in return. Make sure that you're out there doing a good, doing good in the world. Yes, whatever it is. Thank you, Anita. My heart's coming in here. So Anita, last words before we go.
I think we said it all. I think there's so many takeaways from this. So for those of you who missed parts of it, go back and watch it back. Go to our YouTube channel at Impactful Business Voices. If you have more questions about business coaching, why would you need a business coach in your business? Or if you're even looking to become a business coach and looking to see how you could add that to your portfolio, how could that benefit your business and in terms of offering additional services, reach out to us as well. info@impactfulbusinessvoices.com.
Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Have an amazing day, because guess what? You guys are the only ones that make that day amazing.
So until next time, go make an impact.
Thank you for listening to Impactful Business Voices. Subscribe now and don't miss an episode.